Hello, everybody. It's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana, inviting you to come check us out on uh, your vacations this summer, this spring and this summer. And yeah, I love it. Lots of fun things to do. Here in downtown Shreveport, there's uh, a very interesting little art community that I'm thrilled to uh, just live within and just to be able to absorb all that. And I'm working here with this canvas here, by the way, and we'll get into a little bit of the philosophy behind it. Basically, um, I'll spare that right now. We'll talk about the philosophy of my paintings a little bit later. But right now, it's the style that I'm working in. This is an expressionism, a modern expressionism uh, of a landscape. And what I what I do, my process, I kind of start out with sort of an idea of what I want to do. Uh, Maybe, and maybe I knew that I wanted to do something uh, in nature, and I wanted to do something different than the last canvas that I did. Uh, so I started by putting, titanium white and phthalo blue, just alternating back and forth in a swishing motion on this canvas to kind of build some texture and an atmosphere. And you can even see some of the individual, like in the canvas here, it's a lot more defined, but it's a lot gentler. Just looking at it, but basically it kind of gives kind of an artifice uh, to the texture of the canvas to make it look, maybe it's a little bit weathered, and a little bit faded and everything like that, and kind of leads to the lower definition of this. But that's part of what I wanted to do, and so um, then blending on various bits of the paint that I had an idea to do kind of like uh, a waterfront and sort of a foresty little scene here. And I wasn't quite sure where the balance was going to be, but I think that I have found it, and that's kind of cool. Sometimes it's great to, when you get to one place, it's good to sit back, wait a few days, and come back to it. It works that way with writing for me, and it works that way for painting. So here we have sort of a calmer bit of a perhaps the bank of a um, water. I'm gonna call it a lake, really, because I feel like that's what it's feeling like for me, kind of like a large lake. We have a lot of those around Shreveport, by the way. We have Cypress Lake. Lake Bistineau, they pretty much keep drained most of the time for the purpose of allegrification, uh, if I'm saying that right. Allegrification. Oh, I don't know, but that's for there's a lot of um, growth, unindigenous growth, by the way, that was introduced in the area and became like you know uh, it was like suffocating the fish and everything. So for the past for quite some time, they kind of keep that. Lake Bistineau drained so that they can work on that issue. But we do have Cypress Lake, which I love going out there. Caddo Lake, which was Caddo Lake is expansive. It was actually formed by an earthquake. That's what they tell me. Uh, and we used to go to just outside of Oil City. Uh, there was a part of the lake that was like public and swimming, and we all went there. It was so funny because I used to uh, work and live in my 20s with the family, and they had a cabin just right before you get to that lake, just to the little swimming bank of that lake that I spent so much of my teenage years going there almost every weekend, really, because the weather pretty much is great for swimming year round, except for when it's like raining. But for the most part, yeah, um, you know, there's sometimes when it's colder that maybe you want to like avoid swimming. But yeah, it was fun, and I haven't been out there in a very long time. I need to check it out. Uh, but we have lots of lakes, and then you get down further, you find out some of those lakes are actually channels, and the channels uh, we call bayous, which are, they're they range from like swampy areas to larger lake type areas, but they're really all channels, and they're all part of the uh, Mississippi Delta system that flow into the Mississippi River, and everything. So it's cool. Louisiana. Um, I loved growing up in South Louisiana for several years, about 3 or 4 years or whatever. I don't know. In the 80s, we lived down there, and then we moved back up here. But it was kind of cool because it was very scenic, and some of those things kind of stick in my memory. And it was so funny. One of the things that painting, writing, anything that's slightly meditative. This is where the philosophy part comes in of the work that I do. It can recall emotion or thought or feeling, you know, good or bad or any anywhere along the spectrum of emotions, But just sitting down and doing a painting and everything, it can recall things from your life. And for me, it's like, wow, it's feeling it in the present. And things that maybe I didn't even appreciate as a little young kid, like running around and like catching frogs with my bare hands, and uh, you know be feeling safe to be like a free range child. Whereas today, if I had the awareness that I do now, it's like, whoa, safety is kind of an illusion. Like yeah. But and the carefreeness of it all. So that's kind of what I want to capture with this, just kind of like the bringing forward, nice, peaceful, even in the chaos of nature, which is going to do what it wants to do, and is uh, really, for the most part, not too controllable. Whenever we do try to do things, uh, you know, uh, to balance out, sometimes we'll create a situation worse uh, than what was there before. I remember there was an issue. Now this was before my this was before my acquaintance with the city of New Orleans, but and that area. But there was an issue with the snakes, and so they brought in nutria to help control or keep down the snake population, and and they did that only to find out that, then sometime, it wasn't very long they developed a nutria problem, and so yeah, um, so much so nutria is almost like a giant big furry rat or something like that. But then, oh my God, people down there will eat nutria. Not me. I pass on the nutria. You want to? I don't do like I don't do. I know no offense to some of my southern and country brethren. I try to avoid eating squirrel. Uh, I don't think I've ever eaten squirrel. If I did, they made me and I didn't know it. Squirrel. I don't eat squirrel. I don't eat things like that. And nutria falls right in line with that. But I don't eat. Like we'll save that for the apocalypse when I just absolutely have to. But yeah, but no, I've been in restaurants that were nearly 5-star restaurants down in New Orleans, and nutria be on the menu, and it's like, whoa, I have tasted and tried alligator. Uh, I let that be a delicacy. When we have crawfish festivals and things like that, or there's usually somebody around with a fried alligator on a stick or something, and it's pretty good. It actually is kind of tastes like fish. Uh, it's so funny how fish, yeah, it really does. It's like a. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. Several years ago, my sister and I we were doing the shopping, and it was like when I was a teen. You know, we were doing the shopping for the family. They'd sent us out to do that or whatever, and we came home with because we had tasted some shark. There was like someone had caught some shark, and so we were, you know, yeah, and so we came home and we had shark, which was a fish, but it was a very meaty fish, you know. And yeah, so that was cool. That's what the texture of alligator kind of reminds me of, to be honest with you. Um, but I do eat things. I love lamb. A lot of people don't like lamb. I like lamb. It's almost time to eat. That's what's going on. It's about 12:30, going on 1 a.m. My dinner's about done. I'm going to stop talking about food, but get back to my point. Nature and all of its chaos. Sometimes when it really is uncontrollable, and we can do things, to affect our environment for the good or for the bad and everything like that. But anytime that we just straight out try to manipulate it, I just don't think those things, I don't think it turns out very well, historically speaking. But in all that wonderful, beautiful, natural chaos is a wonderful, wonderful bit of serenity. Uh, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting into exploring here, the calmness of it. So I'm going to post this video, and then I guess I'll do a video about my dinner tonight, which is be like a nothing major, chicken strips with a little bit of a penne pasta and everything. So I'll talk about that then. Listen, I really am serious. If you are coming through Shreveport, Louisiana, and you'd like to stop and check us out, that would be really cool. And then if you do, let me know what you think in the comments if you've come nearby. I hope weather-wise, and that we had some storms Sunday. Uh, we had an F1 tornado, but it was south of town in Stonewall. Mostly everybody's okay. I don't think anyone, no loss of life, some property damage, but I think people are going to be okay. But I hope everybody throughout the Oklahoma going up to like Omaha, Nebraska, there were tornadoes uh, last week, and I really uh, wish the best for those people. So try to keep those people in your thoughts and prayers. And yeah. Okay, so Um, with that being said, I'm going to wish everyone here, peace, love, and light. God bless. Good night.